Hi, my name is Wendy, Wendy Ann Caruth, and I was just going to share my story about um, adenoid cystic carcinoma. It's a rare form of cancer. Um, how it all started? It started my maybe 2.5 years ago. I've been having pain in my on the right side of my face. First, it was like a shock, then I jump, and I'm like, that's strange. And then I go on for months. Then I feel like another shock. And then it was getting more intense. And I feel like something right up on my face, like nerves. And then it started getting worse and worse. Got to the point where my eyes was twitching. And it got to the point where the whole side of my face started hurting. My jaw was hurting. So I went to several doctors. And they was like, no, nothing's wrong with you. Um, it might be a salivary gland, and they checked that it was fine, and they kept giving me pills, pills, pills. And then a year ago, they diagnosed me with a nerve condition called trigeminal neuralgia. So I was like, okay. They did a CT scan. He said he didn't see anything, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So when my jaw started hurting, I went to the dentist. I was like, just take all my teeth out on this side because it's like all here was hidden. They checked my teeth. They said, no, nothing's wrong with your teeth. So I went to another dentist that did my crown. I was like, just take my crown out and just take everything out on this side. He was like, no, nothing is wrong with your teeth. So I went there. I went to UAB to a neurologist. He did a PET scan or CT scan. He said, it's definitely trigeminal neuralgia. I said, no, it's not that, because from what I'm reading, it should be right like here, but I'm feeling pain all up under here. So I went to another neurologist at Brookwood. He said same thing. So they was treating me for a whole year with trigeminal neuralgia. Then it got to the point where it was just ridiculous. I was like, that's not what I have. So I went to two neurologists. I went to two or three dentists. And my boyfriend's back here sleeping.
Hey,
He's supposed to be.
you're not supposed to be. I'm not part of the video.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
bring him
listening.
in when it's time.
Okay.
Um, so I went to two neurologists, about three dentists, and then the final straw, I just went to a TMJ doctor. I was like, that's the only person I could think of. I went to ENT, and was what they couldn't find out. So the TMJ doctor, he was like, let's do a MRI of your jaw. So we did it. And then the next week, he called me in the office. And as soon as I went in the office, I didn't even sit down. I walked in, he was like, I think it's cancer. I was like, okay, can I sit first? I mean, so he looked at it, he said, I hate to tell you, but I think it might be cancer. I'm schedule you to see an ENT doctor, um, Dr. Fort, who is amazing. He's in Gardendale. So, but he told me it was cancer. So I was like, okay. So I left his office,
She calls me
hysterical. Call him. Oh my god,
after seeing a
oh my
dentist.
god, they said it's cancer. Oh my god, he's drowning. He's like, oh my god, let me pull over.
Wait
Let
a
me pull over.
minute.
What?
Wait a minute. What does a dentist know about cancer? This is what I wanted to know.
TMJ doctor.
Okay. And so that's putting me up in arms because I left her in a very good mood. 30 minutes later,
I was hysterical.
she's hysterical about this diagnosis that's given to her by the TMA doctor.
TMJ doctor. Okay, so that's gone. So he was like, the doctor will call you in a couple days or whatever. So I was like, a couple days? You can't tell somebody to have cancer and then be like, well, somebody will call in a couple days to to confirm or whatever. I was like, okay. So then he was like, no, we going to the doctor's office today. But it was too late. So we called early the next morning and we're like, look, we're coming there today. Somebody gonna tell us something. So we went to see the TMJ doctor. So he was like, how he can tell you have cancer? He didn't do biopsy, he didn't do anything. He can't just tell you like that. So he's like, okay, fine.
What do you see on X-rays?
Fine. So he looked at the CT scan and he looked at it, he was like, oh, I see a tumor right here. So he was like, didn't you see a top neurologist at UAB? I was like, yeah. He was like, this is the same CT scan or MRI that they saw, and they didn't see these two tumors in your face. All they had to do was scroll down, and it was right there. They was looking. I don't know what they was looking at.
They were looking up closer to her eyes and her cheekbone.
I don't know.
They weren't looking down towards her lower neck below the ear.
And I told him that's where the pain was. So anyway, he saw it. He was like, well, it might not be cancer. It could just be a tumor. So we did a biopsy in his office that day. Excuse me. And I didn't look at the needle, but how long the needle was? It was a big needle, right?
The needle was about 5 inches long.
I didn't look at it. So, and there's no way you can really numb, lidocaine could just do the surface. But anyway, so did a biopsy in his office. It was so painful. It was ridiculous. Did a biopsy in his office, sent it off, called us in a couple of days. It came back inconclusive. They wasn't sure what it was. It's okay. So we scheduled another biopsy at Grandview. That one was horrible. They literally had to they had some students in there, had to hold me down because they had to get like samples of the tumor. So they stopped me like 3 or 4 times at Grandview. It was ridiculous. I was crying like a baby.
The samples came back and they were benign.
Yes, it came back and it was like no evidence of cancer. So we were like, oh, yes, thank you, Jesus.
Right.
We were celebrating. But we went to Tennessee.
Nashville.
We went to Nashville. So, no, first, we asked Dr. Fort, amazing, Dr. Matthew Fort in Gardendale. He's an ENT doctor. So he asked, what's the question you asked him?
I asked him if this was benign or malignant.
No. You asked him, we was going to go to have the surgery to remove the tumor. Because we were just thinking, oh, it's a tumor. So we're going to remove the tumor.
Right.
So we're trying to find the best doctor.
That's correct.
So you asked him if it was your wife.
Yeah, I asked him if it was his wife, where would you take your wife?
Yes. And he was like, if it was my wife, I would go to Dr. Netterville in Tennessee. He knew about 3 doctors, but he said Dr. Netterville was his main one. So I was like, okay, that's where I'm going.
Because he had wrote a book and actually taught students. Actually, he was an intern for him while he was here.
While he was in school.
Yeah.
So, but before all that, when I found out about this tumor, I was doing all my research, and I went online and found this doctor in California, Hollywood or something.
That's after you came back.
No, that was before I had my surgery.
Okay.
Dr. Osborne, a black doctor. And he was supposed to be so amazing, and he had his whole team, and they would do reconstructive surgery and all that. So, but he was in California, so you had to pay $250 just to talk to him on the Zoom. Okay, my girlfriend was over here. He was at work. So I called him. Well, he called me back. We set up an appointment. He called me. So he was like, so what do you need from me? I said, well, I know you're really good, because this is all he does. He does parotid gland surgery. He removes tumors in the face. And I told him, I said, mine, from what Dr. Netterville saw, I was like, my tumor is kind of complicated because it's entwined. No, that's before. Before.
Wait, you're going too fast.
I'm going too fast.
You need to go to Nellyville first. who was going to remove the tumor
Okay.
that was benign.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to Nashville, he started the procedure to remove the tumor through the surgery.
Oh yeah, I went into surgery.
Right.
Went into surgery. I went into surgery in Tennessee. Came out of surgery, I was like, oh my God, babe, I feel amazing. The surgery must went so good because I was drugged up. I felt amazing. And then he was like, no, so I got something to tell you.
Dr. Netherville told me while you were coming back that the tumor, the nerves were embedded into the tumor.
Yeah, my nerves were entwined and embedded in the tumor. He couldn't do anything.
And he did not want to take a chance on you having permanent paralysis in your face because you were so young, and he wouldn't have done that to his own daughter. So he said the best form of therapy or treatment at this point, after he's seen the magnitude of the tumor that was around the nerve, is
radiation.
So
basically, he opened me up. He saw it was my nerves was entwined in the tumor. He couldn't do anything. So all he did, he took a sample and he sent it off to the lab to see what type of cancer it was. So he just had to close me back up. So they sent it off to the lab and they found out it was no, it was adenoid cystic carcinoma. That was the cancer. It wasn't no. It wasn't benign. No.
It was
That's not a word you said. Okay. But yeah. So they sent off to the lab. It was adenoid cystic carcinoma. So I stayed in the hospital for 2 days or whatever. Came back home. And I called the other doctor from California, Hollywood, California. And I asked him, I said, I know you're very, world renowned. I don't know if you can remove this without me having any kind of paralysis in my face. Excuse me. He was like, no, it's nothing I can do. I think the best bet is for me to just remove the whole thing, and then you basically won't have no face. Your whole face is going to be dropped on one side. And he was like, I'm so sorry, and you're so young, and you're so young. He had me feeling like I was just about to die or something. He's like, there's nothing I could do. I'm so sorry, and you're so young, and you're so young. I don't think radiation is going to work. The best thing to do is just try to remove it. And, it's no promises. We can't make no promises. And you're so young. I'm so sorry. He told me that because he was on the phone. We did a 3-way, but he was coming home from work. So he was on the other line on the 3-way. And I just lost it. My girlfriend was here at the time. I was doing her hair. And she's like, oh my God. Cleo, where are you? Get home right now. So unbeknownst to me, he was already on the way home. Next thing you know, he was opening the door, coming in the house. I was like, oh my God, where you came from? It was crazy. But it was crazy. So,
mind you, have you counted the doctors that actually have done some form of procedure on her face, and we still finally came up with an answer? And the answer was, the only thing he thought, the doctor who had done a large amount of these all over the world said he suggested that he would just cut it out and just deal with the paralysis of the face. But we had a very concerned doctor, who was Dr. Netherville, who thought a different direction.
Yeah, because this doctor from California was like, no, really, this is not going to work. I mean, it's just too intense. You just need to just cut it out. That would have just sent me into depression. Can you imagine? No face on one side.
With a beautiful face like this, it wasn't really optional.
I would have been depressed. But and some doctors, you go into surgery, and I've had friends who go into surgery and the doctors just make the best decision at the time without even asking. And I'm just so grateful that he didn't make the best decision, make a decision that he thought was the best decision for me, and just left it up to us to make the decision. So anyway, didn't have the surgery, came back home. came back home to UAB, and
The healing process from the surgery that was done was over a month before they can actually start
radiation. Because I'm like, y'all
radiation.
go wait a month to start radiation. This thing might spread. It was crazy, and the pain from the surgery, like right now, this whole side of my face, is kind of I have radiation paralysis right now, so it's like stiff and hard. I can't really do anything on this side.
It's been much harder though.
Yes,
After
but radiation was crazy.
you had
I
to
had
decide what type of radiation you needed, and luckily at UAB we had a choice between
regular and proton.
and proton therapy.
Amazing. The difference is, I guess, proton, it targets the area, so you don't get burned the rest of the places. I don't know, but it's supposed to be better than regular radiation. And
And it was.
it was crazy.
It was better.
It's crazy, but they had to make a mask of my face and strap me onto this table. It was horrible. I told him what to take some pictures, but he said he couldn't do that. It was terrible. And then you had to lay there. Anyway, I did 37 rounds of radiation. I'll have my daughter insert some pictures somewhere.
Proton therapy.
Doing this, we'll insert some pictures.
Luckily, we had a proton center that can do this
in Birmingham. Otherwise, you have to be
UAB,
driving back and forth.
Which was a grace in itself. God ordered our steps to do that, or we'd have been traveling from here to Nashville.
We'd have just moved to Nashville. I'm sorry. We'd have to move to Nashville for those 3 months, however long it was. And shout out to my job. They were amazing. I mean, the managers, the people in Florida who's over the company, everybody was just so nice. You know, I had to take a leave absent from work for like 4 months, I think it was, when I did my radiation. What should I say?
In saying that, the insurance that she had with the principal group that she took out long before she knew that she was diagnosed with cancer.
That's another story.
Being proactively thinking, I'm going to take this extra short-term insurance with principal group, signed up for the insurance on both ends, long-term and short-term, not knowing that cancer was in the forecast, but you know how you put the policy on because you never know what's going to happen.
Yes, I had short-term disability at work, and I guess I didn't have it long enough because I left them in PRN and came back, so there was a lapse in coverage there, or whatever. But
there was not a lapse in coverage.
No, it was because I went PRN. So to them, I left the company. Whatever it is, I had short-term disability. I thought I had short-term disability.
But when you came back to the job and you took the insurance in the 10th month of the year in 2022, you weren't diagnosed with cancer till March.
I know, but with them, they have to go back and look to make sure it wasn't pre-existing. But the bottom line is, when I wasn't working, I tried to apply for my short-term disability, and they had the nerve to come back and tell me, "Oh, you didn't get it because it was pre-existing." Oh, I thought I knew I had cancer the whole time, so I'm trying to explain to them, how is it pre-existing? I didn't know. Even I sent in doctor's notes where they diagnosed me for a whole year and a half, almost 2 years, for trigeminal neuralgia. I've been taking medication for trigeminal neuralgia. I tried to fight the case. They told me, one lady even told me, well, you had pain in your face for over 2 years and the cancer's in your face, so I guess it was pre-existing. I said, ma'am, I hope these calls are recorded because you're finna lose your job right now. But anyway, I don't know what happened. But the bottom line is, principal group did not cover my short-term disability because it was pre-existing. Like, I knew I had cancer this whole time. And for people out there, please sign up for AFLAC or something. I wish I knew what I knew then, what I know now. I should have signed up for AFLAC so I would have some kind of cushion to fall back on. I had nothing to fall back on.
But me. in the trenches.
Thank God. Family.
I love this woman. I want to get her back to full health. She is my yin to my yang. And it's very important that she's here with me So whatever came our way, we was willing to make sure that we saw it through.
Okay, so that went. Okay, what's next? So fast forward about 4 or 5 months, I did my radiation. It's horrible. Whole face, all that was
Week
horrible.
after week after week.
But thank God I don't look like what I've been through, because I
Well, you're
wouldn't wish
not
this on
done.
my worst enemy. Now, back out to work and everything.
They didn't let you go back to work until October.
Okay, I went back to work. I mean, part time, whatever. But I'm back out to work full time now. Now, last week I had, cause I do like every 3 months I do my
Posts.
my checkup. So um I had my surgery March, and then I did radiation. I did my radiation was done in
August the
in
3rd.
August, and then after 3 months after that I had a CT scan, which looked good. The tumor, he said, in my face have shrunk significantly. I don't think that means I'm cancer free. It's just smaller than it was before.
Whole lot smaller.
A whole lot smaller. But I'm just dealing with the effects where, my face is stiff. I can't really smile on one side and all that. But thank God it looks better than it did before. So now I did a CT scan last month, and they said that everything looks good here. It still looks like it's shrinking even more, but they found 10 or 11 spots on my lungs. Now he doesn't know if it's the cancer that spread, or he said it could be an infection. I don't know, but and surprisingly, I don't know. I'm not crying. I'm not upset. I'm not. I just leave it in God's hands. And also I have to say I have a lot of praying family. Shout out to my family. All I have family in.
Support.
I have people praying for me in Trinidad, in Tobago, in Florida, in Texas. I mean, everywhere. I have so much support, and
And
it's
they've
just
been
amazing.
here to visit her on the ground, helping her out, motivating her, keeping her positive, as well as myself. So when I see them and they come from all over the world, they're on the ground.
Yes,
And that's a wonderful thing to have a village.
I think I should have joined some kind of cancer support group. I need to do that. I'm on ACC, and I don't know, cystic carcinoma group on Facebook, but I think it's good to get in a local something. But I'm trying to do it through my church, Church of the Highlands. But I just haven't been following up like I
But this is
supposed
a
to.
very powerful testimony. Once we came through the radiation, the first time when we noticed that it got smaller, um, we were very blessed because the alternative was what?
Take it out. No face. I have no face on one side.
Paralysis, and no telling when the nerve damage would be repaired.
Oh, it couldn't be repaired because it would have severed the nerve.
And so we are praising God every day for the blessing. They are tracking it because of the location of where the cancer was. Every 3 months, she has to go through a procedure and they check her whole body out. And on her 6 month evaluation, that's when we saw some more little spots because she was having some pain.
Yes, I was having pain in my chest and stuff. So
taking deep breaths.
Yes. So they said they don't know if it's infection of the cancer spread. I don't know, but I mean, one night here, I tried to go to bed, and I thought I was having a heart attack. I was like in so much pain. We had
that was on Valentine's Day night.
Go to the emergency room, but they didn't see anything. Right. But anyway, but I forgot to say, doing my radiation, before radiation, when I didn't know what it was, right?
Right.
When I used to have so much pain, this man would be songless, he was snoring away. And I was in so much pain. That was radiation?
Yeah, that was before radiation. Before? Yeah, when you had the pain in your jaw going.
My pain was so bad. I used to be up pacing the floors, walking back and forth, and he's snoring. I was like so mad. I'm like, something is wrong. I do not have trigeminal neuritis. Something is wrong. So please be an advocate for yourself. Do not let these doctors tell you you have something when you know your body. Because I was like, something is wrong. I researched trigeminal neuralgia. I was like, it can be this. And come to think of it, I was thinking back years ago, maybe like about 10 years ago. I had a pain right here and I went to the doctor. It was like, oh, nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You're fine. So this thing probably was in my face over 10 years. I know because I had a pain before, but I didn't follow up with it because the doctor said, oh, no, you're fine. He put a scope down my battery. So it's nothing. I don't see anything. You're fine. And I just never followed up. It just
Oh
went
no,
away.
she
It
followed
went
up.
away. No, back then I didn't follow back then. It went
Okay.
away.
But
But
the other
now,
thing that we have to take into the scenario is genetically, cancer is prevalent in her genetic genes. Her mom had cancer. Her dad had cancer.
but it's crazy. Who would think you got cancer in your face? But my mom had breast cancer. My dad had a one of the 10,000 form of cancer in his. It was a thyroid cancer, and a plastic thyroid cancer.
I'm saying that because
It's crazy.
she's not the type to just sit around and wait on somebody a diagnosis and sit around here and wait. We've been going to the doctor ever since I met her over 3.5 years ago, and so we just were trying to trying to find what was going on with her, and I had no idea, but
I
she
told
knew,
him.
and she was an advocate for herself.
I said you didn't sign up for this. I said we won't even together 3 years. I said you didn't sign up for this.
Yes, I did sign up for it. Yes, I love you. I'm here with you. I'm
but
going to see you through all of this, just
but
like you would do for me.
yes.
Okay.
But so I'm just making this video. I don't know. I just think I've seen other people do cancer videos. Like I said, this is a very rare form of cancer that I've never heard of. Because I would be like, who would think you get cancer in your face? I mean, you know, because I even think if I wasn't here in America, I was back home in Trinidad, we wouldn't think to look for that. I would just be popping pain pills. So everything, I know people say everything happens for a reason, but I don't know what the reason is for me. But I know that
God is in
God is
control.
in control. I went to the doctor a couple of days ago because I've been having anxiety attack, panic attacks for no reason. And she was like, "Are you depressed?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "But you've been through a lot." I said, "I know, but I'm." She's like, "Are you suicidal?" I'm like, "No, my God. I mean, I've been through a lot, but honestly, I'm not depressed. For some reason, I just have a peace over me. I go to work. A lot of people at work don't know what's going on with me. I go to work, I laugh, I smile with my patients because I think I work in healthcare, respiratory, and I see so much people going through so much more. I'm like, oh my God, this what I'm going through is nothing compared to what I see at work. We had this one lady had jaw cancer. That to remove a whole, I see so much. So I'm like, God, I'm not gonna complain. I just,
We
I
want
thank
y'all
you.
to understand this, though. God is the ultimate healer of all things. And this is a testimony, more so than the story. We want you to take from this: never give up. Keep God in front of all things. He can heal you.
and and
And
and
your faith is very important. So we see a lot of videos of some of you ladies and gentlemen that's out there that's dealing with some of these issues. And some of you have never had it before. We don't want you to give up hope.
and also, even if this takes me out, I'm not trying to be cynical. I heard a pastor say, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. We all have to go. We all have to go. I mean, I don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. But we have to go somewhere. And I prepared. When I found out I had cancer, I got a lawyer. I wrote me up some papers. I have one daughter. Hi, Kina. My everything. I have one daughter. I I I drew up a will. I told her what I want done. I could give her the passwords to all my stuff. Um, I have a brand new car. I said, "Come get my Lexus." I said, my side of touch. I said, I put everything in order because I don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying? We already discussed everything, everything is in order. I'm not trying to say I'm gonna die tomorrow. No. But
No,
I'm not depressed.
we actually started putting stuff in order long before the cancer.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'm talking
so,
about my personal stuff. I never had
oh,
a will
yeah,
and
I've
power.
always,
I never had all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
And maybe I'm talking all nice and stuff now, but
Mm.
like I said, they say that they found the spots on my lungs, but they wanted to do a PET scan this month, but we already booked a trip. We're going out of town. I don't care. Doctor's like, we already booked a vacation. So I'm like, you know what?
It was a rough year last year, so this is.
I said I've been through that. I'm not changing my vacation. So I told him, I said, I don't want to hear no bad news. It might not be bad news, but just in case, I'm gonna have a vacation. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna come back. Then I'm gonna do that PET scan. So anything, no, I don't want to think about nothing. I have moments where I'm short of breath and I have to say rest, and I'm like, I'll be okay. And I get scared like everybody else. Sometimes I tell him, I say, babe, I'm scared. He's like, scared for us, like, I don't know, but
But having a good support system
it helps.
around
It
you
helps. It
and
helps.
people who believe in faith,
In faith, yeah.
and God is very important to helping heal the brokenness. No, she's not depressed. She signed up for the 20.
Oh my God.
You understand? So that means we're going to be together. She only got 2 options. Either we're going to be together, or you're going to be with me.
This is a story about cancer.
I told about it. So I'm going to be here.
But
I love her.
So this is my story, and
yes, it is.
I think I'll come back and update you guys about when I come back from vacation, and we do the PET scan and hear what happens. I might not be this jolly, I don't know, but I try. Anybody who knows me, ask any of my friends, they would say, "Girl, nothing bothers you. Everything just roll off for you like what water in a duck's back," and it's not really true. That's what they think. I mean, I cry. I have my moments like everybody else, but I try not to stay down. You know, I try not to, because believe you me, I had my moments where I would just, it was crazy. I had my moments, but
positive people.
Right. When you have a lot of praying people in your family and they call you and they tell you, just think positive thoughts and and just pray and have faith. It really it brings a peace of it. Really helps. It really helps. And again, shout out to my job for letting me take this all the time I needed off. For the people who worked for me, for friends and family who prayed and called and checked on me, it was appreciated. And they still calling and still checking. I don't want to call no one friend over the next, but you guys know who you are. Anyway, we will come back next month with an update because I go back on the 9th for my PET scan. Mm-hmm. So I'll come back next one with an update. Let all you guys know what's going on. And you're going to go through my journey with me. I should have started this journey when I first started, but like I said, I'll put some pictures in there of how my face looked before and the things I had to do to sleep at night. I had to tape my face up like with actual tape because I felt like everything was just pulling, so I had to tape my face back. So I was coming to bed every night looking like a linebacker.
Yes.
Can you imagine? I was looking so horrible. I was like, "You sure you still interested in me?"
Love her. Yes.
But thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. Bye. See you guys next month.